Hello, Algebra 2ers. Today we're going to talk about system of equations story problems. So taking word problems and figuring out the systems of equations and then using our three options to solve. That would be graphing, substitution, or elimination. You're going to need the foldable you've been working in for a while, a pen or a pencil, and you're definitely going to want a calculator. So the goals we have for today, our learning targets, are to solve systems of linear equations exactly and approximately with graphs, focusing on pairs of linear equations in two variables. We also want to be able to create equations in two or more variables to represent relationships between quantities, graph those equations on coordinate axes with labels and scales. Again, like I said, this is the foldable we're working in, and we're on our last tab of story problems, so that's exciting. So let's dive into it. So in example number 1, you and some friends decide to go see a movie. Luckily, your friend has a gift card to use on the concessions at Grand Theater. The concession signs are down, but the person working tells you that you can buy 2 popcorns and 2 drinks for $18, or you can buy 1 popcorn and 3 drinks for $16.50. How much does each item cost? So we're going to have to work on breaking this down. So we have this little chart here, and we need to determine first what our variables will stand for. So X, we need to pick something that occurs in this problem. I see popcorns, I see drinks, and I see money. I think we should choose X to be our popcorn. And with that being said, we're going to choose Y to be our drinks. Okay, so now we need to try and set up an equation. So we have 2 different deals. In deal number 1, we have you can buy 2 popcorns and 2 drinks for a total of $18. In deal number 2, you can buy 1 popcorn and 3 drinks for $16.50. Okay, so now we set this up. So deal 1, that's what they told us, but now since I've set it up like this, I should be able to attach some variables and then go to work and try solving. So again, this is my X value, this is my Y value, and it should equal the total. This is my X value, this is my Y value, it should equal the total. We add them together. So now let's pull that out and write the equation 2x plus 2y equals 18. My other equation is x plus 3y equals 1650. So here's where we're going to have to use our substitution, elimination, or graphing. You can choose whichever one you want, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use elimination. So then I need to multiply this bottom equation by -2 to get a -2x minus 6y equals 33. A -33, excuse me. So now when I'm dealing with just these 2 equations, these x's will cancel, and I'm left, if I combine my y's, I'm left with -4y equals, when I combine what's after the equal sign, I should get a -15. So if I divide by -4 on both sides, we should get y equals positive 3.75. Then I take that y value and I plug it in for the y, so I get 2x plus 2 times 3.75 equals 18. So I get 2x plus 2 times 3.75 gives me 750 equals 18. When I subtract 750 to the other side, I get 2x equals 1050. So then x is going to equal 525. So now we need to think, can we reread this problem and answer the question, and does our answer make sense? So again, this goes back to what we set each variable equal to. So we set x equal to the popcorn. So this is telling us that popcorn is $5.25 each. And by 525 we mean dollars, because we set it equal to $18. And then this y value, remember y was my drinks, so this means that drinks are $3.75 each. So when you answer that problem, you have to make sure to rethink through the problem and write down in the end what it means. So yeah, I had an X and I had a Y, but then I had to go one step further to tell you that popcorn was $5.25 each and the drinks were $3.75 each. So if you want to highlight that, underline that, this then should be your final answer. What I have outlined in orange should be your final answer. So let's move on to example 2. In this example, the Hampton family is going on a Florida vacation. The cost for a day at an amusement park is $550, and the cost for a day on a family cruise is $800. The budget of the Hampton family is $4,600 for 7 days. How many days should they spend at each place? Okay, so right now we have a budget, so we're going to have to talk about some money, and we also have only 7 days that we can work with. Okay, so then we have two totals. We have the total of $4,600 or $4,600, and we have a total of 7 days to use that. So now we need to determine what X and Y are. X, maybe we should say X is the days at amusement park, and we'll say Y is the days on the cruise. Okay, so now let's break this down. So the money we are allowed to spend at the days at the park is going to be $550 a day, whereas the days on a cruise would be $800 a day. So now we're trying to figure out how many days we can spend at each. Since I don't know the days, I'm just going to fill in an X. I don't know the number of days I can spend at the park, and I don't know the number of days I can spend on the cruise. So my equation then is just dealing with X's and Y's because we aren't sure. That's kind of what we're trying to figure out based on the budget we have and the amount of days we want to be gone. So again, once we have this, we can attach those variables for the ones we don't have and put those plus signs between there and then pull out the two equations. So I'm going to get 550x plus 800y equals 4,600. The other equation I have is x plus y equals 7. So again, I'm going to use elimination, but you can use substitution if you prefer. So I'm going to multiply the bottom by a negative 550. Then I get negative 550x minus 550y equals negative 550 times 7 gives me a negative 3850. So I'm no longer dealing with that second one. Remember, I manipulated that. My x's will cancel. When I combine my y's here, I should get 250y. And when I combine what's on the other side of the equal sign, I should get a positive 750. Then when I divide both sides by 250, we find out that y equals 3. Once I know my y value, I can then plug it into an equation. I'm going to choose the second equation where x plus y equals 7. So x plus y, which is 3, equals 7. I figure out that x equals 4. So I found my x and y value, but again, your last step is to understand what those values mean. So again, the x value is the days at the park. So this means I'm going to have 4 days at amusement park. And the y here, remember y stands for days on a cruise. So with this budget and going for 7 days, I can spend 3 days on the cruise. So again, setting up those equations, understanding what we have, using those numbers to figure out where to put them, determining your x and y, and then solving for x and y using one of our methods, either substitution, elimination, or graphing. And then the final step is to determine and understand what those variables mean and stand for. So I want to thank you for taking good notes. I will see you in class.